Okay, what up ladies and gents, it's your favorite Asian robot right here with my ultimate super messy bed hair, okay? Love my cowlicks. Anyway, my friends are in the background, might laugh, when I'm doing this, but anyway. I'm here to bring you guys the new update for First Descendant. So update 1.1.0 just dropped today, alright? And it's also known as Season 1. There's a lot of stuff coming in here, all right? And there's also some other stuff coming on the 10th of October, but this is the 29th August update. So not everything that we talked about before is in here, but there's a lot that's in here already. So I'm going to go through all of that. Let's begin immediately. All right. Apologies for no music, but I think you guys don't mind. I think people have heard enough music on my stream today. Okay. The new Descendant coming is Hailey. Hailey Scott. You already know about her. Her skills have been talked about before, but the main thing to take note is that her passive was not discussed before. Her passive is called Safe Strategic Retreat. Weak point damage decreases when she attacks nearby enemies and increases when attacking distant enemies. When you get into the game, I'll probably have to figure out what this means by nearby and distant, because weak point damage is a huge multiplier for firearms. So if she cannot fight things that are close, that's not very good. But the fact that she can buff the weak point damage, which is a multiplicative factor for several guns, is pretty excellent. And I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. So we'll have to see what other ranges they're talking about. All right. In terms of her skills, Cryo Round, Storm Snare, Cold Fury, Zenith were already discussed before. All right. If you need me to go through them, I'll go through them live on stream later once I farmed Hailey. All right. In terms of actually researching Hailey, some people looked at this picture and said, "Oh my god, RealAsianRobot Hailey requires enhanced cell blueprints and says 36 of them." Yeah, okay. With regards to that, please take note that this is just how they've typed it. But in actuality, if you scroll down a little bit, she requires 36 enhanced cell DNA in order to research her. Now, this is a bit different to other Descendants because other Descendants required blueprints. Here, she requires different data, all right? Or DNA or components or links or whatever. Now, all of this can be farmed from Invasion Dungeons, the new mechanic coming tonight. So we will be covering the Invasion Dungeons tonight. And the thing about this is that the Invasion Dungeons will allow you to acquire one of her research materials with 100% chance, all right? If you clear Invasion Dungeons faster, you can acquire up to 3 of Hailey's research materials at once. Invasion events occur daily in 2 dungeons. The Invasion Dungeons can be cleared twice per day. So we'll see how much we can get by clearing them as fast as we can later. However, her research materials can also be acquired by defeating monsters in the hard infiltration operations. To farm Hailey's research materials faster, participate in the following infiltration operations. For her enhanced cell DNA, you need to go to Magister Lab and Slumber Valley. For the stabilizer component, you will need to go to the shelter or the chapel. For her spiral catalyst link, you'll need to go to the asylum or Caligo Ossuary. And for her data chip set, you'll need to go to either the Haven or Mystery's End, which is perfect because we need to test the Mystery's End battery farm anyway. So we'll be going in and doing all that as much as we can to test the new dungeons that are being changed. In order to unlock the invasion, here's what you need to do. After you complete all the existing main quests, the invasion... excuse me for the sudden cough. I'm doing this after a long stream. The invasion episode continues with the Mysterious Phenomena quest. Progressing through the main quest will unlock the new progression system called Inversion Reinforcement, which we'll talk about in a while. Once you progress through the main quest, How to Hide the Truth, you'll unlock the Invasion Dungeons, which allows you to go and research Hailey. All right? So this is pretty crucial. Once you've got all this, you're good to go. All right? Now, about the Invasion Dungeons. The Invasion Dungeons can be accessed from the Infiltration Operations Terminal. The Invasion event occurs daily in 2 hard infiltration operation dungeons. What you can do is disrupt the invasion or do a hard mode infiltration, right? You can choose to play either infiltration operation or invasion, and invasion dungeons can only be played solo. So while the number of entries into the dungeon is not limited, you will no longer be able to enter the invasion dungeon once you've acquired all of the Ironheart particles, which are obtained by clearing the dungeon. All right. Invasion dungeons have unique mechanics for each Vulgus Legion, requiring different strategies to tackle them. The Legion of Immortality has the phase separation veil blocking the entrance. What it will do is that the phase separation veil nullifies all attacks. You need to overload it and shut it down. Defeat enemies and feed their artificial brains into the quantum computing unit. This will unlock the entrance while the phase separation veil is down. Okay? For the Order of Truth, you must survive the explosion from the inversion energy and ancient arcade. Remove the malignant tumors from the arcade pillar and identify the symbol on the arcade pillar. You must then find the ancestor drone that matches the symbol. After surviving the explosion, destroy the wall of malignant tumors and the inversion energy emitter. For the Legion of Darkness, you must disable the encryption system sealed with inversion energy. Climb the central control unit and identify the trait of the arcade tile with the help of the guide. Then, you just need to occupy the arcade tile of the same color to decode the encryption. The Legion of Darkness Vulgus will try to take back the arcade tiles, alright? And the faster you clear the invasion dungeons, the more Hailey research materials you can acquire. Clearing invasion dungeons will acquire gold and iron heart particles, which are used for your inversion reinforcement system. Now, the inversion reinforcement system is the seasonal progression system for this game. When you acquire iron heart particles, like I said, excuse the coughing, what you can do is you can invest in the inversion reinforcement. This will allow you to pick 3 skills from any of the 5 trees. You cannot pick 2 skills within the same tree. So ultimately, you always have 3 selected from 3 different trees at all times, right? However, when you've unlocked all the abilities in a single tree, you get what is called the collection bonus. The collection bonus is always active. So you will end up with 3 chosen activation abilities and 5 collection bonuses, okay? So we've covered the 5 types of inversion reinforcement effects: hunt, attribute, recovery, survival, season. I will actually be going through them live on stream, so do tune in. All right. And yeah, the rest is just the rules that I've already stated. Cannot enable 2 effects in the same line, yada, 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 so on and so forth. Okay. Collecting Ironheart particles doesn't just come from the invasion dungeons. You will also be able to collect Ironheart particles from hard difficulties fields. All right. So there'll be this thing that says collect Ironheart particles. It'll look like this on the map. And like some of them are like defeat elites in Kingston on hard difficulty, clear a mission in Kingston on hard difficulty, something like that. And you'll get these Ironheart particles, which you can use for your seasonal bonuses. You can bet your bottom dollar as soon as Hailey's farm, we're going to farm these. And the progress status of collecting Ironheart particles will reset at the end of the invasion season. Take note that these are not weeklies or dailies. They are available right from the start. They're seasonal. So you can just barrel through and just go crazy, all right? There are 2 new modules for Luna. Singer's Mercy, where using a skill places a speaker and grants buffs to allies near the speaker, effectively extending her range. Aggressive Melody will change the effects of Passionate Stage and Delightful Stage to increase firearm damage and weak point damage instead. So instead of being all skill-based, she's now firearm-based, all right? So you can use that if you need to play some hard rock, I guess. Okay, let's talk about the new Battle Pass. The previous season stuff is all gone. Whatever you didn't spend will be spent for you on your behalf if there were things to spend it on. Otherwise, that's it. And for the bonus supply coins, they're bonus coins and the bonus supply coins, they will expire and cannot be recovered. So make sure in the next season, you use them all up before the season ends. All right? For the new season Battle Pass, the first and most important thing is that you're getting a new ultimate weapon, Excava. You can acquire helmetless head skins for Bunny, Valby, and Sharon. I will have a video going through the full Battle Pass once we get our hands on it. But the most important thing is that you're going to get a cat back attachment called With Cats.
Yes.
Kaz would 100% react to that. So
Cannot wait.
That's Star. So basically, yes, it is one of the first things you'll acquire in the Battle Pass. So pretty much everyone is buying it for that. You get to run around with a cat strapped to what looks like a baby carrier on your back. But the cat
Yes.
It's like super photorealistic, so I think a lot of people will get that. Now, for the Battle Supply Shop, there are 2 skins in there. Golden Afterimage for Bunny and Voltage Control Mask. Golden Afterimage and Voltage Control Mask for Bunny. And for Valby, Liquefaction Acceleration and Hydraulic Adjustment Helmet. So 2 skins in the supply shop this time, with some other stuff in the Battle Pass. So you can now finally get Valby in her default hair, which I always thought was adorable, but no helmet. So I'm gonna use that on Ultimate Valby so I can remove her helmet and get to enjoy her normal hair. And you can also look at Bunny and Sharon helmetless, which I also love because the blue hair was the only way I could get her helmet off. Now I regret buying the blue hair, but it's okay. Okay. That covers that. Now, in terms of new skins and products, okay, there are 10 types of new paints coming. So Kaz is gonna go broke for this one. If any of them end up looking like skin, all right, I need you guys to tell me for obvious reasons that we will not talk about here. Okay. They
all the paint.
They have added Hailey to the shop. She will have a premium skin called Sniper Squad Full Dress. She will have a Army Beret for her head skin. She's got 2 makeup packages. She's got the Southern Front and Color from the Unknown body skins. Milk Tea makeup. Then there's Lepic's Infectious Agent Survivor skin. Eugen's Nightmare on Med Street skin. Ajax will be getting the Dominator Evolving skin this season. So that's going to be interesting. Then, ladies will be getting the Twisted Worship set. Okay? This will be available for all ladies. Look forward to it.
That sounds very Halloweenish.
Yes, indeed. There's also the Colossus Dead Bride skin set for females.
Oh.
The Executioner skin set for males. The Albion Fire Brigade unisex skin. So this is available for both genders.
I want all these skins. I want all these skins.
There is a Gentlemanly Male event skin, so for the men. And that is it. So look forward to these new products arriving. Okay. In terms of improvements for content, people who were hard of hearing mentioned to First Descendant that they were having a tough time finding vaults because it was difficult for them to hear. So the devs heard them out and said, okay, now they've added a visual cue as well for locating encrypted vaults. So there'll be a little marker, which you can sort of see on stream, that'll point you in the right direction. All right. Because the devs don't want people with accessibility issues to have a tough time gaming. So they've added that. Now, for the infiltration operations, what they've done is that all the occupy and defense type missions or phases in the hard infiltrations have now been replaced with extermination so that we can progress through these missions faster without being slowed down. So I will not go through the full list, but just so you know, we will test a lot of these, but basically anything, it wasn't just the occupy type missions that have been changed, and not all of them have been altered, only some of them. Some of them might still have some areas where you still need to like sort of slow down a little bit, but realistically, they have changed most of them to focus on extermination or extermination with collection, you know? So they've done that for pretty much all of these missions. Now, they've also increased the XP for completing hard infiltration operations, and they've increased the XP for defeating monsters by 1.5 times. You can now acquire rare basic materials as a reward for completing the hard infiltration operations. They've increased the XP for defeating monsters in normal infiltration operations by 1.5 times. What do they mean by rare basic materials? Okay, sometimes the anode, ion particles, things like this that have been difficult to farm in the past because you had to do a mission, now you can do the infiltration operation instead. Or so they've said. But basically, they want players to enjoy playing the game in their favorite style, whether it's doing a mission or an infiltration operation. So they've tried to adjust this, and that's what the director said. They've also added directions for using the Asive during mission for those who might be directionally challenged. When you use the Asive scan, a little pathway will appear pointing you as to where you should go during the mission. So if you got lost, your teammates all ran off because they all play bunny like me, you can now follow the arrow. Okay. Monsters will no longer target players who are participating in other missions. Story dialogue will no longer be repeated in hard difficulty missions. If you need to hear the story, you can go to the normal difficulty. So when you're using the bunny road, there won't be any more of number 17 saying, I'm going in. Izumo could be located in this facility. So you don't need to go crazy when you're farming reactors anymore. Okay? They've changed the immunity mechanics of certain named monsters, replaced the sphere destruction mechanics with shooting weak points. So this will be interesting. So spheres are going to be a bit different from now on. Now the spheres, if they do appear, will be the type you can just destroy. This is to prevent anti-fun mechanics such as the spheres randomly going immune while you're taking damage with no counterplay. Now, those ones you will probably have to shoot weak points instead, which is what is being demonstrated up here. When the enemy is immune, you have to shoot its weak point right there, and then you'll be able to crack the immunity. Okay, players will no longer be teleporting when joining outpost missions. They fixed that. Gold rewards for doing the hard mode outposts have been increased by 3 times, so you get more gold while you're farming outposts. They've improved the routes so that shards acquired from void fragments can be used on fusion reactors in the same battlefield. They've doubled the amount of shards obtained from fragments in hard mode and in normal mode. They've changed monster types and spawn locations in certain void fragment missions, such as the Hagios Dune Base, Moonlight Lake, Echo Swamp, and Frozen Valley. They've removed the starting requirements of void shards from fusion reactors, and instead, you will spend the void shards only if you open the reconstruction devices. So what you can do is that if your teammates are doing a particular void fusion reactor, you don't have to worry about your shards getting taken up if you got no amorphous. Now you just go in, help them out. Easy. They've made an improvement so that only one type of shard is required to use the reconstruction device, but the fragments will still drop 2 types of shards. However, the idea is that if you'd use the fragment in one particular area, you can open up that amorphous 1 time. So for the hard mode, especially, let's say I've got 10 amorphous for the Echo Swamp reactor, I can just do the fragment 10 times, and I can open up 10 times. This should somewhat lessen the need for shard farming excessively. Also, summoned reconstruction devices will now expire 10 seconds after all participants have used them. Okay? They've also reduced the time required to interact with the reconstruction devices, so you don't have to wait forever. With the update for Season 1, the director has commented that they've made adjustments so that a single playthrough of a Void Fragment will yield enough Void Shards to use the reconstruction devices in the fusion reactors once. They've also improved accessibility by making Void Fragments and fusion reactors on the same battlefield drop and require the same type of shards. While you can still obtain 2 types of shards from Void Fragments, the reconstruction devices in Void fusion reactors will now require only 1 type of shard. They are constantly monitoring feedback to further improve Outposts and Void Fragments. For long-term improvements, the dev team is considering ideas to evolve Outposts into a non-stop combat experience, which will be pretty exciting, as well as improving the farming accessibility of Void Fragments and Fusion Reactors with the integration of content. Is that a lawnmower outside? Let me just shut that off. So sorry about that. Didn't want my mic to pick it up. Okay. They've also changed the spawn location of certain Void Fragment missions to provide an efficient way to farm shards for each attribute. In addition, they've added snipers in certain Void Fragment areas to prevent the use of macros in certain Void Fragment areas. Maybe they have changed the bunny cave. We will have to see later. Kaz and me will definitely test it at a later time once I have to level up Hailey.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, do you also want to play Hailey?
Probably not today. So no. You're good with Hailey today. I'll stick with Bunny.
Okay, I'll figure out Hailey in Vein, Alien Brain first, and then I will share it with you. Okay,
I'm playing either her Ultimate Freyna.
Ultimate Freyna is on 10th of October, my friend.
Yeah, she doesn't come out till then.
Aww.
Okay, now then, human, be silent. I must carry on. Okay. Players can now view the past mission results from the menu after completing special operations, allowing them to restart the mission. They've improved the display of the mission tooltip information on the Special Operation and Infiltration Operation world map screen. They've doubled the amount of shards that can be picked up in Special Operations again. They've added additional Descendant XP when completing waves in Special Operations. Leveling up your Descendants in Special Operations will now be faster than ever. And now you can get even more shards in Special Operations. So if you thought the shards were good before, now you're going to be swimming in the shards. Okay. They've made adjustments to Special Operations so that there's improved efficiency when farming XP. While we recognize many players enjoy leveling up through Sterile Land mine blocking, we still believe it's not as rewarding as other XP farms that require a simpler play, such as Void Fragments. So as a result, in this update, we've added XP when clearing waves in Special Operations. The fastest mine blockade will now give you about 1.5 times more XP than before, while Resource Defense and Neutralize Experiment will give you 2 times more XP. Oh. Okay, so if you need Void Fragment shards, you can go for the Neutralize Void Experiment. It will give you now 2 times XP from before. If you need to do the Block Kyber Mining, it will now give you 1.5 times the XP. So leveling from 1 to 40 in an hour, very the possible, which we will do as well and showcase on stream. So look forward to it.
That's going to be so easy for me to level up your Hailey.
Yep. Okay, they have, for the catalysts, right, what they've done is that they've made the UI look like this, like it's showing you in the screenshot. Once you put multiple slots onto a particular whatever on the module socket, right? Once you put multiple sockets on, you can change between them freely when there's no mod inserted. So like, for example, in the screenshot here, there's Almandine and Malachite. I could click on this and then change between Almandine and Malachite, which is shown here. You can reassign the socket type freely, and it says you can only select a socket type that has been assigned before. You can have different ones for different settings, so you can have up to 3 builds on your character or 4 or more if you purchase additional builds with Caliber. Okay? So this is the new system. Now you will still have to re-level your character. You will still have to do everything that you normally would with a Crystallization Catalyst, but now you can finally have the build of your dreams, because all of them you can choose to have no assigned socket if you want, which is pretty good. Okie day. For slots with multiple socket types, the socket type can be changed from the selected menu. Each socket type for loadout settings 1, 2, and 3 can be changed so that they may all differ. They fixed an issue to allow the dismantling of equipment during combat. You will now be able to dismantle things in combat, even if someone's shooting at you, which is such a lifesaver. They've added dead zone settings to game controller options, so you can change those. They've made improvements so that amorphous materials linked to fusion reactors are displayed in the acquisition information, like intercept battles. Okay, cool. You can now also, when crafting like multiple like precise ion accelerators, previously they had like preset amounts, like you craft 20, 10, or whatever. Now you can just select however many you want to craft. All right. This will change the research time and everything like that, and the cost. And of course, it'll change the amount of materials you need. So be aware of that. They've made improvements to allow the ability to designate the quantity of researches when researching enhancement materials, and they've reduced the research time for standard and precision ion accelerators, phase exchangers, and adjustment control axis to meet this new requirement. So in terms of the director's comment, they realized that that people want more control over the quantity that they want to research, and you can now do up to 500 adjustment control axis at once as long as you've got the golden materials. All right, this is to compensate for the inability to simultaneously conduct multiple researches of it. Excuse me. So while they want to give players new features, they also want to make sure that players in certain situations aren't losing out. And so they've shortened the time it takes to research these materials, and this will compensate for being only able to do one at a time, but you can also select the quantity that you want. So previously it may have taken like, I don't know, 10 hours to research 200. I don't know what the actual timing is now, but they've shortened it. So we'll check it out later. They've made improvements to display only modules you have in duplicate when combining modules. And so people won't mistakenly combine modules that they don't have duplicates of. And they've increased the number of symbols that can be displayed when designating items as attached items. Now, the other thing is that there's also certain filters that you can add to reactors or external components. So instead of having to memorize what stats you need, you can choose like, okay, detailed option settings, MP recovery in combat. You want it to be of ultimate tier or whatever, and this will be either junked or not junked or excluded from dismantling or things like that. I'll go through the filters and start using them later on so I can understand them better. They've made improvements to allow the ability to set an equipment option category in filter all junk. All right, so they've done that. This is up here. They've changed the display location and design of the random options to improve your looks in the inventory. So previously, the gold rolls were at the bottom there. Now they're on the left-hand side of the equipment, so you can see how many rolls of gold, whatever. Same thing as before, but they've just moved the location. They've removed the displays for reactors attributes and archetype and fixed the display for external components set effects. So now, depending on the type of reactor it is, you will actually be able to see different designs for reactors. So some reactors will be round, some reactors will be diamond shaped. So this will actually be a lot easier for those who may not pay attention to what the reactor does. I can literally just tell Kaz in future, okay, look for the diamond reactor, and she'll be like, okay. Or I can tell her just look for the triangle shaped lightning reactor, and this will automatically be the reactor for Bunny. So now she will not be so afraid of keeping different reactors because they all look the same. Now they all look different. So this will probably help. Also, for the external components, you can actually just clearly see what they do. If something is a HP support, it's going to have a big heart at the top of its head. So you can easily see what bonus is being given: shield, defense, or health. This will make things so much easier for the external components. No need to think about, oh, does this thing have HP on it? No. Now it just displays big love heart for HP, yellow shield thingy for defense, blue shield thingy for shields. There you go. Okay, the director's comment is that in update 1.07, they added information for random options. All right, the feedback they received was that players were distracted as there was too much information included. Based on this, they wanted to make improvements so that icon information is presented in a cleaner, more organized way. The dev team will continue to listen to valuable feedback given by the community and players. Because I know that for those that may not have like memorization skills, the reactors can be a daunting thing because you don't know which one is for which character. Now you can remember, okay, Bunny, the triangle reactor goes in the square hole. Okay, those who catch that meme reference, I hope you enjoyed. But anyway, this will be a lot easier for people because now, if you have friends that may not be so specialized in the game, you can just tell them, okay, have you seen a triangle lightning reactor? Just put that and you'll be fine. You know, something like that. Okay. They've improved the map to show the location of records that need to be found when progressing Descendant related quests. They've made improvements by adding a tracking on tab when researching, making it easier to view the tracked target. They've improved the intercept battle screen to display the number of linked amorphous materials that players have at each intercept battle. Okay, good. Good. Dimension seems to be triangular now. Interesting. I like it. Whereas singular is diamond shape. So later I can just tell Kaz. Lightning, diamond shape. Got it. Memorize for later. Okay, they've improved a lot of other stuff like the ability to view mission details through the mission tooltip on the map. They've improved the display of the red dot when they're unacquired battle pass items. They've improved the ability to purchase a one-time large quantity of enhancement materials at the shop. If you guys need to pay, you are weak. But if you do, go ahead. Just make sure that you guys have registered me as the content creator first, okay? Improve the ability to preview each component of a bundled product without moving the screen. So now for bundles, you'll be able to preview how the product looks on your character before purchasing, even if something is part of a bundle. They've improved the ability to view each evolution stage of an evolving skin in the shop. Nice. Okay, and on console, they've added attributes and RK keywords by type to the Descendant and weapon module screens, making it easier to find modules on console platforms as well. Okay.
Nice.
There are buffs for 3 Descendants, as you guys know, Jaber, Blair, and Ajax. If you guys are interested, please read them yourself. Why? Because we've gone through this in the past few videos as well. And again, a lot of the effects were already mentioned there. I highly suggest you take a look at this section if you want to, but I will focus on the director's comment. In this update, they've made balancing adjustments to Ajax, Blair, and Jaber. They've been closely analyzing the feedback from the community and continue to monitor all Descendants and Ultimate weapons. As they move forward with the invasion season, they'll continue to balance more Descendants and Ultimate weapons based on our feedback. They'll do their best to make our experience more enjoyable and fair. They've improved the level balance for Descendant spawn sounds, and they've removed a voice that would play repetitively whenever hitting a note while Luna's Noise Surge skill module was equipped. I think it's the one that plays like, let's go. I think that was the one, but anyway, we'll see. Okay. For the external components, they have changed the bravery set to have increased skill duration without any negative conditions. All right. This is for the 4-piece effect. They have increased the incoming damage modifier values for pain reliever, sensory deprivation, MP, and HP, obviously, and psychological victory. So this means that if you choose to use those modules, you will probably take less damage. Optimization improvements. Okay, they've made some performance improvements when fighting many enemies. We'll have to see how that goes in special operations. There are improvements for ray tracing on the PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. And for the PC, they have optimized the shader preparation stage. Okie-day. Finally, we're on to the bug fixes section. Let me just skim through this and see if there's anything important. They fixed an issue where the Kingston Special Operation not being counted for the Resource Defense Award. So the Kingston Resource Defense is a defense operation, so that should count. And they fixed an issue where skipping the Descendant and weapon research cutscenes would skip the acquisition results screen sound. Okay. They've improved the display names and weak points for enemy commanders and assassination targets so that they're now only displayed within the Asive radius. Oh, that's cool. Okay. They've fixed an issue with Bonnie's lightning emission and high voltage skill, where the first hit's connection effect would not appear. They have fixed an issue where the status effect icon for Bunny's electric transition icon would be the same as the speed of light. They fixed an issue where the ice sphere for Viessa and Ultimate Viessa look the same, so now Ultimate Viessa will have cooler looking ice spheres, probably. They fixed an issue where notes would not display in certain situations while Luna's Noise Surge skill module was equipped. They fixed an issue where some Descendants skill damage was not being applied correctly to void fragments. Okay, cool. Equipment-wise, they have fixed the smithereens, where the fire rate reduction was slower than stated. They fixed an issue where each effect's icon looked the same on the unique ability info screen of the final masterpiece. They fixed an issue where some ultimate external components would display the same icon when triggering their effects. So like Annihilation, Polar Knight, Venom, Essence, Frozen Heart, Active Volcano, they would display the same icon when triggering the set effect, but in actuality, these will now have different icons. Okay, cool. For modules, they fixed an issue where the shotgun module targeted vulnerability would appear to have the same name as weak point sight. They fixed an issue where the icons for effects triggered by some ultimate modules were displayed as icons for other modules. This affected Decimator, Passionate Sponsor, Mental Focus, and Real Life Fighter. All of these were displayed as Sweeping Squad before. Now they're displayed correctly. They have fixed some issues of characters getting stuck in some areas of the world. I blame Star and Kaz for most of this. They have fixed an issue where characters could move through terrain that was not intended to be traversable. Okay. They've fixed an issue that causes effects to remain in some areas. Fixed an issue where the named monster Sigvor's grenade generated 2 AoEs. So Sigvor has been fixed. Previously, sometimes you would spawn like multiple grenades and 2 pools would be on the ground. You just die. So that's been fixed. His explosive skill will no longer be generated in mid-air. And they fixed an issue where named monsters would intermittently fail to teleport in their immunity phase. Okay. They fixed an issue where pressing the number 0 key in Kingston would briefly pan the camera to a different area. LOL. They fixed an issue where the target items would be flung around excessively in seizure missions. They fixed an issue where the void fragment sounds overlapping when restarting after aborting a void fragment mission. Okay, so that's also been fixed. Okay, last comment. Hello, Descendants. This is the director of First Descendant, Min Seok Ju. Thank you to all of our players for your love for the First Descendant. Since launching the First Descendant, their development team has been working hard every day to bring us a better experience. They're constantly thinking about how they can better meet your expectations, and they're committed to becoming better. They faced a lot of challenges and issues during the preseason, and they've learned a lot from them. They're continuing to improve the game based on their lessons and the feedback. We're excited to bring this Invasion season to you as the first step in that process. Throughout this Invasion season, they'll do their best to continue delivering a gaming experience that we can be satisfied with. They're incredibly grateful for the support of the players, and they cannot wait to see us in Albion today. So, I will see you all later in Albion. No one is allowed to be late. Me and my team will probably check things out as soon as the maintenance is done, and then we're going to have a little nap, and then we'll have our full night show later on. So look forward to that. Thank you all very much for hanging out with us. You guys have been fantastic. I will see you all later. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to be absolute nerds, and I'll see you guys later. All right? Tell me what you think of this season, and if you got additional questions, leave a comment. I often answer, and I will often, at least try and respond and say, hey, you're a nerd. Okay? Catch y'all later.